If you're studying Japanese the right way, these things should not be happening to you. So right now you're probably studying every single day, but when it comes to, actually speaking to people, you probably get super nervous and you start thinking, am I saying it correctly? And guys, this is a very common thing I hear from people like you who are trying to improve their Japanese, and it's okay. The reason why you're studying so much but still feel like you're not good enough and therefore you can't speak a lot of Japanese is because you haven't mastered these 5 things that I'm going to talk about in this video. All right. And guys, by the way, if you don't know me, my name is Narron. I'm an interpreter here in Japan. And because I was born and raised here, on YouTube, I teach people like you who work with Japanese people how to go from nervous to natural in Japanese. All right. So let's get started. So let's talk about the 5 techniques that are actually proven to help you with your Japanese. Okay. So please master these. The first one is learning the core vocabulary. According to a research, guys, this is crazy. 80% of Japanese you're not going to use. You can just forget about it. It's garbage. On the other hand, you need to know only 20% of Japanese in order to sound fluent. Isn't that crazy? Honestly, I did not know that, growing up, but you only need to know 20%. And it gets better because if you know 20%, that's in order to sound fluent. Okay, if you want to know, how to be conversational, you probably only need to know 10%. You don't need 20 because you don't need to be fluent. You need half of that, right? It's crazy. So instead of learning 1,000 words, make your goal 200. Master how to use 200 and your life will change dramatically. It's so crazy. Go from learning, 100%, trying to, aim for 100% to 20%. That's fine. Another problem I want to talk about is when you learn some new grammar or word, most people fail because they learn and just stop there. Just learn it and they never use it, right? You should learn a sentence and then shadow it. This is their second point, shadowing. You got to learn the word and actually use it, shadow, mirroring, right? You got to hear someone saying the word and then repeat it by yourself. Most of you know what I'm talking about. You hear it once and you think you mastered it. With my students, we try to make it really high touch by saying it 3 times a week. So number 1, we do it in class, and then speaking homework that they upload, like a voice message that where they speak Japanese phrases, and then another assignment where they actually have to come up with new words and then record it again. I've been teaching Japanese for years now, and I noticed that your brain is like an algorithm. When it hears more of it, your brain tends to like that thing. It's like TV, right? You don't know the person, you see him, 3 or 4 times, you start liking the person, right? You start to trust them. When you speak it more than 10 times, your brain starts to like that new word and therefore it will memorize it. I want to pause all of you and say, go grab a pen and paper right now because this 3rd technique that I'm going to talk about right now is probably the most important part in this video. And that's using emotions and stories when learning. Guys, this is proven, all right? So science has proven that your amygdala boosts memory when new information is tied to emotion. I'm going to say that again. When you're learning something new, it's easier for your brain to process it when it has some kind of emotion or story behind it, okay? So instead of learning words, remember it with stories. What I do with my clients is we always learn through stories. I'll give you one example, okay? Let's just say it's Christmas season. You're decorating the house and you're decorating with your son, okay? And after 30 minutes of decorating the house, your son's tsukareta, and he sits down. Now, what is he saying? What would tsukareta mean? Boom, you already know how to say I'm tired. He's probably saying I'm tired after 30 minutes of, running around the house, right? That's how we learn it. I'll tell you another scenario. When you come back from work, and let's just say your husband or wife goes, otsukare. What do you think that means, right? Well, you just came back from work. He or she probably said, well, how was work? Or, hey, honey, right? Boom, that's exactly what it means. But what if I randomly gave you these 2 words, tsukareta and otsukare? Would you be able to actually memorize it? Probably not, right? Maybe if you're freaking Albert Einstein, maybe, right? But we're normal people. And what normal people need is stories, okay? Our brains tend to remember stories, not words. Let's be real for a moment. Don't you remember feeling like peeing your pants when, on your first day, that girl told you, I was really looking forward to this. And you were like, dude, now I really can't screw this up. Yeah, it's because you remember how it felt back then. You probably know exactly what she said there, right? If I just said the word to you, tanoshimi ni shite ta yo, which means I'm really excited about this. it takes like 2 seconds to forget it. Stories and the situations are the reason why we all remember what our parents said, what our girlfriend said, what important people said in important situations, right? If you want to stop trying to memorize new words and start burning it into your brain, you can come to my workshops where I do exactly this. It's free for now, guys, so you can sign up from the link below. Let's talk about our fourth technique, and it's learning the patterns. And because I talk about this a lot in my other videos too, many of you probably already heard me say this a lot, but anyways, I'll talk about it here too. So learning words makes it so much harder for your brain, right? Instead, you want to learn the patterns. Now, what do I mean by this? I'll give you 2 examples. The first one, when you want, you're probably doing this, and if you are, don't do it, okay? You're probably learning something like, 食べたいです. It's like, I want to sleep, 寝たいです. You're just learning the words, right? Instead of doing that, what if I told you that something たいです means desire, you want to do it, right? So forget about all the vocabulary. Remember one pattern. It's something たいです. So now, before the たいです, you can actually insert the verb. So you can say 食べたいです、飲みたいです、寝たいです、行きたいです、帰りたいです, right? As long as you know the たい part, you can just insert any other verb in there. So this makes, by knowing たいです, you just unlock like 1,000 words. You can say 寝たいです, you can say 帰りたいです, anything you want, right? Example number 2, I just finished doing something, right? Instead of learning, 今、テレビ見てきました or 映画見てきました. It's so complicated, isn't it? So just remember something てきました. That means I just finished, I just completed something. Something てきました. So you could be like 見てきました、食べてきました、寝てきました、帰ってきました. You can insert any word. So this is what I'm talking about. This is a great example, guys, of working smarter and not harder. You can spend all day searching how to make the perfect burrito, or you can just ask a Mexican neighbor, okay? And do it with them, right? Do it with them. So what we want is minimal effort and big results. So don't take pride in being like, oh, I studied 2 hours today and I learned all these new words. No, don't do that, because you can learn more in just 30 minutes. Final part, I want to talk about the final technique, is something I call chunking. Okay, number 5 is chunking. There's a thing called chunking, and that's learning the whole sentence and not the word. Instead of searching how to say child, like learning kodomo, right? If I told you that you can ask your coworker, 子供さん元気ですか? And all of a sudden you want to use it now, because it's like you know how to ask coworkers versus you just learned a word. Like if you're just learning the word because you want to learn it, your brain's going to shut it down. If I told you you can use the sentence with coworkers or friends, now your brain's like, oh, it's useful. Remember, our brains our brains have priorities, right? What does the caveman do when there's a lion in front of your kid? You probably go there and kill it, right? That's the priority. Your brain goes, boom, I'm going to do that right now. What if you saw like a little bug over there? You probably didn't care. You probably wouldn't care. That's the same thing here. Don't learn just the word, because your brain's not going to care about it. Imagine yourself telling that to your friends, talking about it with your coworkers. Then your brain's going to be like, really focused on that. Just like that, learning sentences rather than words gives you more context, where you can use them, right? And therefore your brain goes, well, dude, that's really important. So let's kind of keep that in my memory. No one's going to just use the word child. On the other hand, you may ask someone, how is your child? Huge difference here. So just like this, you got to know how your brain works and kind of exploit that, right? Remember, your brain loves sentences and context, not words. And guess what? After having that conversation, the other person probably is going to reply to you, and congratulations, guys. You now are actually talking to people. You're having a conversation. That's how we actually learn, by doing it, not like learning through textbooks and not saying it, right? So those are the 5 techniques that I use when teaching my own students, and it has worked magically with them. So I'm giving you this information for free. So guys, use all the writer downers, and I really hope that you improve your Japanese skills starting today. All right, that was Sean reporting from the Nagoya region, and I'll talk to you in our next video. Guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Bye bye.